Guys, today we'll understand Oracle. So I'm just going to explain the Oracle 11G version. So as we know, it's a Z stands for here grid computing. There are several versions of Oracle. Before 11G it was 10G, and before 10G there was a 9i, and before that 8.0, 7.0, like that. So there are several versions. So this is updated one, and we'll have a discussion on this version. Okay, so what is the agenda for the Oracle? We'll understand database, what is database, and then we'll understand what is RDBMS, what are the different RDBMS products we are having, and then I'll discuss what is Oracle database. Okay, and define the basic concepts about Oracle. Okay, and describe SQL Plus, what is SQL Plus and what is iSQL Plus. So we'll have a discussion on that. Okay, so these are the basic agenda for our Oracle. Okay, you can notice here. So let's understand what is this. Okay, well, now database, what is a database exactly? So I can say database is the persistent repository for logical related data. The purpose of database is to store and retrieve related information, right? And provides platform for easy data management. It facilitates data sharing, and it reduces the data redundancy. Okay, so what happen actually if we maintain data in some manual system, like in some kind of laser, right? So in this case, if some record is here, and later if you are retrieving the data, it may take time. It may take one day, it may take a week, it may take a month, right? If some crucial data is there. So in this case, if we maintain data in some kind of database, then we can get data on time. We can retrieve data on time, on demand. That is a benefit. So retrieval time is very less. Okay, and we can easily manage our data at any time, at any moment, right? So this will give you easy data management and data sharing. So easily multiple user can share this data, right? And we will reduces redundancy. So we need not to repeat the data. So that kind of trick we are having, right? Okay. So I just say like it is very much crucial for the company to get data on time, on demand. Now this Oracle will provide this facility. So DBMS, what is RDBMS and DBMS? So DBMS is a software system that enables users to define, create, and I can say here maintain the database and provide control access to the database. So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. RDS is database which is stored data in the form of tables, and the relationship among the data is also stored in the form of tables, right? So relationship between the tables made the representation, loading and retrieval of the data easy. So the RDMS was introduced by the Dr. Edmund F. I say EF also we call. This guy has introduced the 12 rules of RDBMS, okay, of RDBMS. If any DBMS follow all these 12 rules, then we can say this guy is now it is a RDBMS, okay, Relational Database Management System, because these 12 rules of RDBMS say a lot of things, how to manage relational database, right? Now, if we talk about Oracle, Oracle is a RDBMS which contains the following component we can say. It is having a SGA. SGA stands for System Global Area. Okay, System Global Area. So SGA is like a work area. Okay, where Oracle carries out its operations. It's nothing but a set of memory structure. It is having some buffer cache memory. Okay, it is having some redo log buffer. Okay, there are some context and there are some background. Oh, sorry. So even SGA is having that much stuff only. Apart from that, we are having several background process which is running. Okay, and that we call Oracle process. You can see here the Oracle process which runs in the background and carries out specific functions. So if we have a Oracle process, say Oracle process plus SGA is also known as Oracle instance. Okay, Oracle instance, right? Now every Oracle process is having also a separate memory, and that is called PGA. So it is a program global area. So this Oracle PGA is an individual. Let us say 10 Oracle process. All this Oracle process is having their own PGA, program global area, which is somehow similar to SGA, but this memory structure is specific to each Oracle process, right? So every Oracle process is having that PGA, program global area. This is system global area, which is like shared by all the and used by all the Oracle process. So it is system global area. We can also call it shared global area, right? So data files and redo files, control files where Oracle store the user data and system data. So there are several files created once we create the database, like data files and redo log files and control files are there. If you just go to your folder where you have installed your database or created database, I just show you that one. Consider you are having Oracle. You can see this here. Say you install in app drive, suppose, and there's the one Oracle here, Oracle exe. This is your location where you have installed the Oracle now. Inside that there's the folder, Oracle folder. Now this is ORA data. There's one folder. Inside this folder you find exe. This is a database, Express Edition database. Okay. In Oracle Enterprise we create ORCL database. We can change the name of the database, but here X is my database. Now this database is having number of files. Control file, right? System auxiliary file, system.ddf. This system.dbf is your main data file where all the data is getting stored. Temp.dbf, undo tvs table space, I can say one dbf, user.dbf. So these are the major files which hold your data, maybe temporary data or some control data and system data, I mean final data, right? Okay. So these are the data files we're having in your database. Okay. Now I just explained this structure. You can see this here, that when you start the database instance, right? Or when we can say the database come into the picture, into system memory. So this is what we have, a SG and Oracle process. So there are some Oracle process, which all Oracle processes having PG also, program global area here, and they all use this guy, right? Even there are some other background process like pmon or smon, system monitoring and process monitoring. Some other process are there. You can see the context area and database buffer cache and redo log buffer. So if any changes happen here only, okay, in the redo log buffer. Once the changes is done, okay, it come to direct here now. It is stored in the database buffer cache. And finally, once we commit or some commit and rollback happen, some updation happen to your that system.dbf file is there, right? Remember the database file which we have. Okay. So you understood this now. Okay, so next we have to understand what are the vendors we are having in the RDBMS. Look it now. Okay, let us come to here. Now, if we talk about Oracle, so it is from the Oracle corporations as we know, right? And if we talk about SQL Server, it is from the Microsoft. Teradata is from the NCR. DB2 is developed by the IBM, right? Informix from the Informix software, Sybase from the Sybase 11. Similarly, we are having some other product like I can say MySQL you can use, right? You can use Derby, right? So all these MySQL is now from the earlier from the Sun Microsystem and now from the Oracle itself. This was also from the Sun, but now from the Oracle Corporation. Okay, there are several. It is not only this RDBMS available in the market, right? There's a NoSQL also. Okay, now the RDBMS we are having some table concept in the RDBMS, right? So this table is what? It's a row and column arrangement. So we are having some column, you can content here, there is a 3 column and there are several rows here, right? So these are the rows and these are the column here. So rows is this, right? This is a column and this is what? Cell, one field, one block, right? Okay, now what is SQL Plus here? So it is a kind of one tool. It is a kind of client tool which help us to connect with the server, right? So recognize it and submit SQL statement residing in the SQL buffer for execution of the Oracle server, right? So it take the SQL statement, keep it in the buffer and then execute. Has its own set of commands. There are some commands of Oracle SQL Plus. I'm not talking about the SQL command here. It is the SQL Plus command. Okay. And format query results to obtain formatted output, capability to access local and remote databases, can control environmental settings. Some environment setting is there. Now SQL Plus, you can see here categories of SQL Plus statement. So environment, if we talk about environment here, affects the general behavior of the SQL statement for the session. Formats query results. File manipulation, you can save the query, load the query, run the script files. Okay. Executions, send SQL statement from SQL buffer to the Oracle server. Edit, you can modify the SQL statement in the buffer. So there's a one ed command, edit command. Interaction enables creation and passing of variable to SQL statement. Print variable values on the screen. So we can display some value on the screen. Miscellaneous commands to connect to the database, display table structure and column definitions. So you can connect. So you can use connect and disconnect command. This is the some miscellaneous command of SQL Plus. You can say display describe. So describe is not a command of SQL. It is a command of SQL Plus which help us to display the structure of the table, right? I'll show you that one. So what is difference between this SQL and SQL Plus? Let us understand this first. SQL is a language, right, which help us to write one SQL query, right? Abbreviation of keyword not allowed here, but here you can do that. Here you can write DSC describe, and you can write describe complete. Any of these two you can use. Say you're writing here describe, okay, you can do that. Based on NSI standard Oracle proprietary products, so this is a product of Oracle, but it is some concept which has been introduced. It is having a standard SQL language, so most of the vendors are using the same here. Can manipulate the data stored in the database, but this guy cannot do any manipulation with the table, right? Termination character is required. You need to give semicolon here, but in SQL Plus it is not required. Semicolon is not required. So I hope you understood the difference between this SQL and SQL Plus. So SQL is a language here, right? Now SQL Plus editor. SQL Plus does not have a built-in editor, right? So there's one ed command of SQL Plus enables you to invoke editor. The editor can be used to edit the contents of SQL buffer. Upon invoking the editor, the contents of the buffer are written to a file called afiedit.buff. So this is one file which actually get opened. Once we write and close it, the statement come into the prompt and execute it. So the editor is not invoked when the buffer is empty. You have to write some kind of statement in that, okay? There are some other command like save or sav. In short, you can write store the contents of the buffer in an operating system file. So what are the statement you have written, you can save it by with name of some file. At the rate or run, executing the contents of a script file. So if you are not writing the statement on the command prompt, you can use run command, which will help you to run the file. And that file is having some kind of statement. Get file name, write the content of the previously stored file in the SQL buffer. Okay, so it will get it, and you just say run, it will execute that code, right? Logging to database with the help of SQL Plus. Ensure the Oracle server has been installed. Oracle server must be installed. Ensure SQL Plus has been installed in the client machine, right? And the server and the client is connected with the help of network. So some TNS configuration is there which you have to do if it is a server client on the different location. You have got a valid username, password and host string that you have to pass it, and you can connect with the server, I mean Oracle server, okay? Understood? These three things you need it, okay? Once you log in or say connect with some username password, you will get this prompt. SQL prompt will come here, okay? Now what is iSQL Plus? iSQL Plus is an Oracle tool again. It's a client tool that recognizes and submits SQL statement to the Oracle server for executions and contain its own command language. So what is the features? Look at here. You can now access from the browser. So in the browser you can write some command and say run. So it will run the statement. Accept ad hoc entry of a statement. So you can write the statement, some specific statement, okay. And maybe it is not planned, just writing some statement, say run, okay. Provides online editing for modifying SQL statement. You can keep editing there itself because there is some box, some text area where we can write the statement, and there is some button. Controls environment setting, okay. Formats queries into basic report, access local and remote database. You want to see the look of that? Look at here. So once you open the iSQL Plus, this is the screen of iSQL Plus. So you can write the query here. In this part, write the query and then say execute. It will get executed. If you want to load some script, you have written somewhere in the other file, just say load a script. If you are saying save, so this whole data will get saved, right? At any time you can log out from here. So this is the space where you can log out, right? Okay. So we understood very basic idea of Oracle and some SQL Plus differences, right? In the next session, we have a understanding of SQL statement. Okay, that's all.